Let's welcome in now national spokeswoman for the Republican National Committee, Madison Gesiotto Gilbert. Madison, good to see you joining us live from Simi Valley. So thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Anytime these debates happen and
good to be with you.
The person who's way ahead in the polls, in this case a former president, is not there, for better or worse, and I know maybe from your perspective at the RNC it's for worse that we have to talk about it, but that becomes the story. Is there a time when you think Donald Trump will have to debate? What's the argument being made, if any, by the RNC to the Trump campaign to say, hey, we want to see you on stage?
Listen, I've known the president for a long time. I hope that he joins us at future debates. But tonight, it's just one additional opportunity for us as Republicans to share that contrasting vision of what the Republican Party has to offer to voters, why people watching, not just Republican primary voters, but why people watching that are unhappy with the way things have been going, that will be voting next November, maybe won't be voting in our primary, but aren't sure of who they're going to vote for, why they should be voting for Republicans. And so this is a big night again for us to share those policies, to share that vision through these candidates on the stage.
Now, the seven, as Robert Sherman has just went through it all, we know now there's seven on stage, and, you could go through it one by one, and each has their own set of challenges. I would say, for Ron DeSantis, for example, we're still talking about whether there's some sort of a reset to the campaign. We went into this thinking the Florida governor would be a clear number two, clear alternative to Trump. Is the thinking that, this is the big night, a lot of pressure on DeSantis, or is it a little bit different? What do you think? Is it one person that has to stand out tonight?
Listen, anything can happen. I think everybody has the pressure on them to stand out at a debate like this. And when you look at the candidates, each one of them is going to have their own unique vision, their own unique strategy. They all have, different consultants, different people advising them. So it'll be interesting, as the first one was, to see how they come out and what their strategy is as they, get closer and closer to the primaries and caucuses starting.
Final thing, do you think they'll spend more time going after the front runner in their race? In other words, each one of these candidates, all seven, has to be the nominee if they want a chance to run against the sitting president. Or will it be more about Joe Biden and how they would match up against Joe Biden? We've seen polls this week where some of them match up pretty well. Some even match up better than the former president. But it's tough to get there unless you actually make some headway in the campaign itself. So how do we expect that to unfold tonight, that dynamic?
Well, we'll see what they do tonight. We'll see if they talk more about the president or more about Joe Biden. But at the end of the day, the reality is Joe Biden has been a failure on every single front. It's not just the economy. It's not just the border. You talk about education. You talk about any issue. You talk about just yesterday with Joe Biden being up in Michigan with the United Auto Workers, spending only 87 seconds talking to them at the picket line when he's supposed to be the most pro-union president in our nation's history, according to him and his administration. So he's been a failure on every issue. People are feeling it in their everyday lives. Very rarely in 2023 do you see an issue that almost everybody agrees on. And you look at the most recent polling coming out showing that 91% of people rate food prices poorly, 87% of people rate gas prices poorly, obviously a large majority, over 70%, rating the economy poorly, and Joe Biden's personal approval ratings showing that as well.
All right, Madison, we'll see how it goes tonight. Thanks for a few minutes today before the debate. We appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.